On with the readings. Sean O'Brien's book, Europa. I meet, as we all do, a lot of people, and sometimes you forget somebody's name. And my way of getting over that is going, hello, how's the project? And they tell you what they're up to, and they go, oh yes, I remember, yeah, still writing the poems. But with Sean O'Brien, we don't need to ever ask what his project is, because his project for many, many years, over a long apprenticeship, is to present us with the truth in poetry, to make poems that have a grave insistence that we must listen to them. And in his book, Europa, his subject is Europe and beyond, and thinking about Europe and delving back into Europe and to a possible future for Europe and the present for Europe. And there's a fantastic line in here that could be made into a tea towel, I think, to be hung in everybody's kitchen. It says, "It was beyond dispute that art is all there is and might not be enough." And what really breaks your heart, but also gives you hope, is when it says art is all there is and might not be enough. But let's hope it might be. Sean O'Brien, his book, Europa.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to be here. I'm going to read 4 poems. On the train on the way down from Newcastle, during an interesting diversion via Ely and Cambridge, I was trying to work out some timings with the aid of my partner. So we did that. And I said, "So what do you think about the choice?" She said, "Well, you know, they're a bit bloody gloomy, aren't they?" So I changed the program entirely, and all of these are complete rib ticklers. The first poem is called "You Are Now Entering Europa." There's a wonderful early Lars von Trier film called Europa, which opens with a shot from the back of a train of railway tracks running into the distance. And Max von Sydow says, "You are now entering Europa." So, you are now entering Europa. The grass moves on the mass graves. How many divisions has the grass at this discreet perpetual exercise? The fallen leaves are frozen now. The wind falls bitter. No one writes, and I forget. I mark the days. The grass moves on the mass graves. I tell myself I have my work, when what I have is paper and a clock. The grass is in the street. The street is at the door. I may not be disturbed, you understand. I have my work so near to its conclusion now that I will never finish it. The grass is at the door, is on the stairs, is in the room. My mouth is me, while I mark off the days and think how blessed I am to have my work, to tend the graveyard I become. In the summer of 2017, I was the first member of my family to have had the opportunity to visit the grave of my great-uncle Harry Reid, Private Harry Reid, who died of his wounds on Christmas Eve, December 1915. He was described as a horseman from a farm near Driffield in East Yorkshire from my mother's side of the family, and I felt fortunate to be able to represent the family by going to see his beautifully maintained grave in a small cemetery in a small town in Belgium, the Sunken Lane. I mean to walk down the sunken lane where the dead are once more trying to assemble in the dark. By the light of Bavarian gentians, I'll be looking for the dugout at the entrance to the mine, and then descend the deepest shaft where the ancient ordnance sweats and waits implacably for 0 hour beneath the ridge. I will surface in the middle of the wood while the teams of machine gunners sleep with their heads on the barrels just for a minute before the beginning, the end, the balloon going up, the whistles like a cloud of nightingales. I carry a letter from home, the cigarette case that will save me, a picture of you, all the time in the world to stroke your face while you are waiting, Robinette or English Rose, so patiently there at the edge of the village where wildflowers grow by the road. This poem was written in the late spring of 2015, when I think, although history has become obscured lately, that we had a general election. They used to be quite popular at one time. It's about a party. Hence, loathed melancholy. Tonight, I will wear my new waistcoat to the party. You will wear your cloak. We will put on masks and be amused by friends we fail to recognize. This will all be a lie, told in good humor for the best of reasons. I will dance with his squeeze and he with you in a temporary climate known as mutually supportive fraudulence, to compensate for recent disappointment and the eerie loss of texture that suggests a dimension sold off on the quiet. Harlequins and columbines will take the floor and recombine, and while the music lasts, its spell will stop us noticing the smell. Hence, loathed melancholy. Let's be barefaced. We've practiced and we try to make the best of things, and it's a lie, and everybody's at it anyway. Hier nicht, nicht hier. Hier nicht, nicht here. Yes, there have to be economies. Everything drains from the pocket. Pence, pus, principle, as fish rots from the head, and as the Secretary of State sings swastika eyes in the bath. If we elect to drink and dance and screw, the lie is as plain as your face and yet quite incomprehensible. Drink this and kiss me, darling. Lie with your long tongue, with your nylon legs. Lie to the music, to the air itself, and lie beside me later, silent. Lie. So maybe long ago I would admit no separation of realms between the people with the guns and money and your choice of rosy lipstick. But everyone knows better now the lie has grown into its birthright and is free to share its meretricious bonhomie in a Borgia's poisoned handshake. At the end of the evening, the lie goes home as a growth on the back of the head we mistake for ourselves. It needs no sleep, lying there telling itself in the dark. And in the steamy compact mirror, Madame Secretary addresses in the bath while whispering swastika eyes at dead of night because she can. A song, hier nicht, nicht hier, hier nicht, nicht here, which, this part's true, she knows by heart. And lastly, an impartial contrast, the calm, which takes a rather fantasticated view of the mouth of the River Tyne. The calm. And thank you for listening. At the mouth of the river, moon, stars, and arctic calm, the twin lights at the end of the piers revolving with the smoothness we expect of supernatural machinery. Seen from down here on the beach, the harbored ocean slowly tilts like a mirror discreetly manhandled by night from the giant room it was supposed to occupy forever. The mind says now, but the stars on their angelic gimbals roll and fade a tide of constellations breaking nowhere every night about this time. Strike up the band. In the tumble-down bar, the singer has fallen from stardom and grace. But though her interests nowadays are wholly secular, she can still refer back to the angels. And knowing that song, we share a moment with the saved before we leave to make the crossing. No captain, no ferry, but cross we shall, believe you me. Thank you.